Shalom, shalom, shalom. You are live and direct with your Akazaki Yahu. And I'm giving all praises, honor, and great esteem unto the Most High Power, Yahuwah Bahashem, Yahushua HaMashiach, and to the 12 tribes of Israel who are scattered to the four corners of the earth. I say shalom, wa baruchim. That is peace and blessings. And I cannot wait to the day that the Most High brings us back together, and we are once again 12 tribes, one family, one nation under the Most High Power, under one covenant, back in our own land with a heart of flesh and no more a heart of stone, with our enemies, our adversaries, and all those who hate us under our feet. Hallelujah. All praises to the Almighty Yahuwah Bahashem Hamashiach Yahushua. All right. We are back for another video review for this evening. And once again, just good to be back again doing another video review. I have a special treat for you. My Adawan, a brother I have so much respect for. This is a brother who really gave me information, vital information when I came into the truth. And so I got mad respect for this brother. And he's a good brother as well. You know what I'm saying? He's a good brother. He's a good dude, a good cat. And I can't say enough good about him. But I'm not a man worshiper either. But when the Most High send a good brother to your face, take advantage of it. And this brother, the Most High has used him to deliver a wealth of knowledge to the nation of Israel. So all praises to the Abba for this brother. This is my Adawan from Chosen Seed, Detroit, Michigan, King YaaQob. And shout out to the brother, man. Good brother, man. All right, here we go. I'm gonna go ahead and get him going here. This was from this past Sabbath. That's why you see the Sabbath greeting. Shabbat Shalom. I hope the volume is working and that y'all able to hear.
Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. How's everybody feeling with our hands? Y'all forget it every time. We're gonna go back to where we left off from last week. Anybody know what we went over last week? No. In one ear, out the other. Revelation 14. That's where we're going to go again. Revelation chapter 14. So, Revelation chapter 14, and we're going to pick it up at verse 6. We left off at verse 5 last time. So we're going to pick it up at verse 6.
Revelations chapter 14 and verse 6. And I saw another angel fly in the midst of heaven, having the everlasting gospel to preach unto
having what?
The everlasting gospel to preach unto them that dwell on the earth, and to every nation and kindred and tongue and people, saying with a loud voice.
What kind of voice?
With a loud voice.
So this angel was speaking very loud, and he's going to give a stern warning. Read.
Fear Elohim and give esteem to him.
Do what?
And give esteem to him.
So after he usually say, fear Yahuwah, what does he normally say? Fear Yahuwah and do what? He usually say, fear Yahuwah and keep something.
My commandment.
Keep his commandments. Here he don't say that. He say something else. Read that again.
Saying with a loud voice, fear Elohim and give and give esteem to him.
And give esteem to him. So it's a little bit of a switch. But the gist of what's popping right here is there's an angel that's going to fly over and he's going to warn you about something that's soon to take place. So this is actually taking you back before the mark is administered to the world. Read on.
For the hour of his judgment is come, and worship him that made heaven and earth and the sea and the fountains of the water. And there followed another angel, saying, Babylon is fallen, that great city, because she made all nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication.
So again, he's giving you a stern warning about not worshiping this entity or these people, this man. Don't do it, because it's going to be dire consequences to this. Hold that, get me Romans chapter 1, verse 18. Romans chapter 1, verse 18.
Romans 1 and 18. For the wrath of Elohim is revealed from the heavens against all ungodliness.
Against who?
Against all ungodliness.
Against all ungodliness. Read.
And unrighteousness of men who hold the truth in unrighteousness. Because that which may be known of Elohim is manifest in them. For Elohim hath showed it unto them. For the invisible things of him from the creation of the world are clearly seen, being understood by the things that are even that are made, even his eternal power and Godhead, so that they are without excuse.
They're without what?
Excuse.
They are without excuse. So before the mark of the beast is administered, the angel is going to fly overhead and give you a stern warning that you better not take this, because if you do, it is eternal wrath and judgment. So he's making sure that nobody don't say, I didn't know. He's going to take all excuses away from you for you to say, oh, he tricked me, I didn't know. It will be no excuses if you do it. Let's go back. Revelation 14. Pick it up at verse 7 again.
Revelations 14 and 7. Saying with a loud voice, fear Elohim, and give esteem to him. For the hour of his judgment is come, and worship him that made the heaven, and the earth, and the sea, and the fountains of waters.
So making it clear, don't worship nobody else. Worship the one that has made the sea, the earth, and the fountains of the earth, and all of this stuff. Making it crystal clear what to do and what not to do. Right? I want you to keep this in mind. Read on.
And there followed another angel, saying, Babylon is fallen.
Babylon is what?
Is fallen.
Babylon is fallen. So we know that it's at this point, there is all nations, tongues at this place. But I want you to notice it never tells them to speak it in multiple ways and in multiple languages. It's actually being spoken only one time. So whatever it is he's speaking, it is went all the way back to Exodus and to Pentecost. Let's get Acts chapter 2, verse 7.
Acts chapter 2 and verse 7. And they were all amazed and marveled, saying one to another, Behold, are not all these which speak Galileans? And how hear we every man in our own tongue?
How we hear what?
How we hear every man in our own tongue.
So when this angel was speaking, everybody going to understand it in their own language. He's going to say it one time, the same way that Yah was speaking when he gave the commandments, because it was a mixed multitude that came out of Egypt with us. And he says everything one time and everybody understood it. Read.
Wherein we were born, Parthians and Medes and Elamites and dwellers of Mesopotamia and in Judah, in Judea, and Cappadocia, and Pontus, and Asia, and Phrygia, and Pamphylia, and Egypt, and the parts of Libya, and Cyrene, and strangers of Rome, Jews and proselytes, Cretes and Arabians. We do hear this. We do hear them speak in our tongues.
We do what?
We do hear them speak in our tongues.
So again, they're saying things one time and everybody gets it. This is the same thing over here because it's going to be basically flipping the Tower of Babel back on his head, and everybody going to be able to understand exactly what's being said while it's being said. All right? Keep this in mind. Let's go back. Revelation chapter 14, verse 8.
Revelations 14 and 8. And there followed another angel saying, Babylon is fallen, is fallen.
It is what?
Is fallen.
It is fallen, fallen. What comes before the fall? Pride, right? This one must have double it because it falls twice. So like we always say, it's dead, dead. They are fallen, fallen, and can't get up. It's a double fall. Read.
Is fallen, that great city, because she made all nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication.
So this entity has made all nations drink of her wine with wrath and partake in her fornication. So this place has some sort of a wine that it forces or causes you to drink. And when you do this, it causes a fornication. I want y'all to remember this and hold this in your mind. Make you drink and has wrath and it causes fornication. So something about this wine. Get me 1 Peter chapter 5 and verse 8. There's something about this wine.
First Peter 5 and 8. Be sober.
Be what?
Be sober.
Be you sober. Now, why does Peter give this warning? Be sober. Peter is directly giving you a warning to be sober. Now, what does drinking do to one's senses? Does what? It impairs the senses. What else? Okay. And how does it affect your judgment? Not watching. What you say, sis? They call it liquid what? Liquid courage. And you see a dude that's 5'2" think he can whoop everybody. 5'2", weigh 140 pounds, and ready to fight the world. So Peter says, be you sober. Read.
Be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walk about, seeking whom he may devour.
Seeking whom he may devour. So when you are drunk in the natural sense and you try to walk that straight line when them cops are talking to you, why you can't walk straight? Why? A drunk can't walk straight. His equilibrium is thrown off. And he is in something, is confused. The senses is now, he's some kind of way he's confused in the simple thing of just walking straight. because this thing has thrown him off some sort of a way. His senses is messed up. Now, what does Babylon mean? Confusion by mixing. Mm. So this wine will confuse your simple senses and throw you off where you can't do simple things. How does Yah tell you to get to his kingdom? What's the path? How you go? He says, don't turn to the left or the right. But if you under this substance, you think you're going to veer off? Mm. Woo! This stuff ain't no joke. So Babylon means confusion by mixing. Now, where do we see the very first mixing of something? Where do we see the very first mixing of something? We got to go before that. Something else that's a mixture. And Babylon is not just mixing, but it's mixing two or more things together that don't go together. So a peanut butter and jelly sandwich wouldn't be Babylon. Those things mesh with each other. It's things that don't go together. What you got, Doc? Before that. Anybody else? Any takers? He separated them. The tree. It's still a mixed. It's good and evil. Two things that don't go together. Right? So Yah says, I'd rather you be one way. I'd rather you be cold or hot. I don't want a mixture. Well, we see that this tree has both good and it has evil in there. We got two trees. One is the tree of life, and the other is the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, right? But why isn't it not called the tree of death? Because it causes death, right? So why is it not called the tree of death? Any takers? What'd you say? Die is actually what it says. So this tree is a tree of death, but he's showing you something that's going to take place throughout time that you won't be able to tell the difference between good and evil, that they're going to actually look alike, right? So let's think of some things that are supposed to be good and they look like they good on the surface, but they really evil, right? So let's see Masons. What do y'all think about the Masons? Don't they do some good works? Do some good drives and stuff like this? But behind the scenes, what are they really doing? What do doctors supposed to do? Heal. But they give you stuff that kill you. What do lawyers supposed to do? Defend and tell the truth, but they lie. all the time. All of these different things is the tree, because they all supposed to be doing something good, but they actually doing evil. The tree has people so drunk that we got millions and millions of people fighting for abortion, and they think that this is good. Don't y'all see that that's a part of the tree? How could you not? How could you think that this is good? This is good because the tree has brought this confusion in. So we can't even tell the difference. Now, let's see something. Who was the wisest man ever? Solomon, right? Let's get 1 Kings chapter 3 and verse 5.
1 Kings 3 and 5. In Gibeon, Yahuwah appeared to Solomon in a dream by night. And Elohim said, ask what I shall give you. And Solomon said, you have shown unto me your servant David, my father, great mercy, according as he walked before you in truth, and in righteousness, and in uprightness of heart with you. And you have kept for him, this great kindness, that you have given him a son to sit on his throne as it is this day. And now, O Yahuwah my Elohim, you have made your servant king instead of David my father, and I am but a little child. I know not how to go out or come in, and your servant and your servant is in the midst of your people which you have chosen, a great people that cannot be numbered nor counted for multitude. Give yourself your servant an understanding heart.
Give him what?
Your servant an understanding heart.
So Solomon asks, give your servant an understanding heart. Read.
To judge your people, that I may discern between good and bad.
That I may do what?
Discern between good and bad.
So the prayer that Solomon asks Yah, he says, give me an understanding heart and give me the mind and the heart that I may be able to discern between good and evil. Why does he need to pray to understand between good and evil? Why does he need to do that? Ain't they obviously not the same thing? This seemed like I would never pray for that because we seem like, well, that's evil and that's good. I don't need to ask you that, but it's obviously he had to see something in this, that these things must look similar. They must be very, very closely aligned, because he's asking, give me an understanding heart that I can discern between good and evil. Read that one more time, Mark.
Give therefore your servant an understanding heart to judge your people, that I may discern between good and bad. For who is able to judge this, so great a people?
So again, Solomon prays for understanding and a wisdom that will make me understand between good and between evil. Remember, the tree has both in it. So remember, Babylon has a drink that makes you fornicate, whereas where is the first fornication in the scripture? I'm gonna give you one. It's a spiritual one. Spiritual fornication. No takers. First fornication. It was Eve. Remember, she was the first one that's over talking to the serpent and she eats first. Right there, she's spiritually fornicated against Yah. Back there. So that's the first one. So this tree causes one to drink and to fornicate. And we see that Eve has actually cheated on Yah right here. But let's dig into the tree more. Get me Genesis chapter 2. The last verse.
Genesis 2 and 25. And they were both naked, the man and his wife, and they were not ashamed.
And they were what?
They were not ashamed.
So right here, the man and his wife are both naked, and they are not what?
Ashamed.
They are not ashamed. I want you to keep this in mind. At this point, they are not ashamed. All right? Genesis chapter 3, verse 1.
Genesis 3 and 1. The serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which Yahuwah Elohim had made. And he said unto the woman, Yea, have Elohim said, you shall not eat of every tree of the garden? And the woman said unto the serpent, we may eat of every fruit of the trees of the garden, but the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, Elohim hath said, you shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die. And the serpent said unto the woman, you shall not surely die.
You shall not die. That's what it actually says. You shall not die, symbolizing the first and second death. All right? So to keep that in mind as well. So he just told her, you will not surely die. Read.
For Elohim doth know that in the day you eat thereof, that your eyes shall be open.
Then what shall be open?
Your eyes shall be open.
Then your eyes shall be open. Now, what does it mean that your eyes are open? We know that they can already see, right? All of a sudden, he says that if you eat from this tree, your eyes is going to be open, meaning you're going to be able to see something. You feel something that you didn't before, right? Read on.
For Elohim doth know in the day that you eat thereof, then your eyes shall be open, and you shall be as Elohim, knowing good and evil.
Knowing what?
Knowing good and evil.
You're going to know good and evil. Read.
And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eyes, a tree to be desired to make one wise.
To make one what?
To make one wise.
What did Solomon pray for? He wanted wisdom, right? So this tree, according to what she's saying, or what she's looking at, that it's going to make her wise, right? But Yah says that the wisdom of the world is what? Is foolishness, right? So was you really wise? He also told us in Deuteronomy, he says that my law is your wisdom. So if you actually keep my law and do what I tell you, that's going to make you wise, right? Not the eating from this tree. But let's see. So this is the tree of death. But when she looks at it, how does the tree look to her?
Desire to make one wise.
It looks beautiful. It was pleasant to the eyes. Now, if the tree had brown pus coming out of it and flies all around it, you think she would have wanted it? She wouldn't have wanted it. But evil looks beautiful right here, don't it? And it's mixed. They can't tell. It's mixed. That's why he put it in here, because the two things are mixed together and the average person cannot tell good from evil. This is why Solomon asked for understanding, to be able to tell the difference between the two things. Read that last verse again.
And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eyes, a tree to be desired to make one wise.
To make one wise, but it gives you a corrupt wisdom. We're going to see this. It gives you a corrupt wisdom. Read.
She took of the fruit and did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat.
And he did eat. So both of them have partaken in this tree, and they have eaten something. Let's see what the fruit causes. We see that it causes pride. Read.
And the eyes of them both were open, and they knew that they were naked.
They what?
They knew that they were naked. And they sewed fig leaves together and made themselves aprons.
So why are they suddenly putting fig leaves on? What are they doing? What are they feeling now? Wait a minute. They wasn't ashamed before though, right? And they was naked before, because it told us. But we see that this is a different naked than the one that when they first said it. But they have done something. Now they are ashamed. They feeling something that they've never felt before. They feel ashamed. So this fruit is linked to being shame. So when you sin, you don't just do one sin. Anybody understand that? When you sin, you don't just do one. Anybody elaborate for me, if you understand what I'm saying? Yeah, absolutely. But let's go at this angle. So when you steal, how are you committing other sins with it? You had covet, absolutely. But what else? James says, when you break one, you do what? You break them all. So let's say, for instance, your sin was that you stole something. So now you have coveted, you have stolen something, and you automatically have put yourself before Yah, which breaks the first commandment. Because he told you, you shall have no other God before me. When you do your own will, you become your own God. So sins come in bundles. You might think that you only did one thing, but it's a bundle of sins in the one thing. I want you to keep this in mind as well. Pick it up where you left off from.
And the eyes of them both were open, and they knew that they were naked. And they sewed fig leaves together and made themselves aprons. And they heard the voice of Yahuwah Elohim walking in the garden in the cool of the day.
So now they suddenly feeling something that they've never felt before. They are afraid. What does guilt do to you? When you know you are guilty of something, don't you think that everybody else know about it? It's an uncomfortable feeling to have guilt on you. Now, I just want y'all to, I'm going to ask a couple of questions. When you think of a king eating fruit, what fruit comes to mind? What did y'all say? Grapes. Wow. Grapes come to mind. Okay. When you think of wine being made, what fruit comes to mind? Grapes again? Wow. When you think of rumors and gossip, what fruit would come to mind? This is a little harder one for y'all. What you say? Talk loud for us. Heard it through what? I heard it through the grapevine. Ba-na-na-na. Would you be mine? Wait a minute. What does that got to do with rumors and lies? Why the grapevine of all fruit? What? Why? So kings eat it. We see that, and now the grapevine is linked to rumors and things of that nature. How does rumors spread? Let's see some stuff. Leviticus 19:16. Leviticus chapter 19, verse 16. Let's walk this through.
Leviticus chapter 19, verse 16. You shall not go up and down as a talebearer.
As a what?
As a talebearer.
What does a talebearer do? They gossip, right? They gossip, they do something. Go up and down. Who is the person that goes up and down or to and fro? Satan, right? Okay. Did you keep this in mind? Finish that out.
You shall not go up and down as a talebearer among your people, neither shall you stand against the blood of your neighbor. I am Yahuwah.
I am who?
I am Yahuwah.
Proverbs 18, verse 8. Let's dig in.
Proverbs 18 and 8. The words of a talebearer are as wounds, and they go down into the innermost parts of the belly. He also that is slothful is in his work.
All right, we good right there. So it's talking about this talebearer. These words are like a wound that go deep down. They cut. So the grapevine is tied into this. Now, when you see a grapevine, how does it grow? What is its actions and what it does? It spreads. When it's spreading, what is it doing as it's spreading? It's wrapping around stuff, right? If you've ever seen a grapeyard or the vineyard or whatever, and you see the grapevine, whatever it touches, it eventually wraps around it. What animal do that? Huh? Let's rock with me, y'all. So it goes and wraps around things. Proverbs 20, verse 1. This tree is deception. Eve said, the serpent beguiled me. So it's linked to deception. All right? Read.
Proverbs 20 and 1. Wine is a mocker.
Is a what?
Is a mocker. Strong drink is raging. And whosoever is deceived thereby is not wise.
Wait a minute. Eve wanted to eat from the tree because she thought it would do what for her?
Go wise.
It would make her wise. But right here, he just linked something with wine. Read that one more time, Hog.
Wine is a mocker.
It's a what?
Is a mocker.
It's a mocker. Satan was mocking y'all when he was saying, you shall not surely die. And strong drink is what?
Is a mocker. Oh, strong drink is raging.
And read it. What else?
And whosoever is deceived thereby is not wise.
So whosoever is deceived by, what is it talking about right here? Whoever is deceived by wine or strong drink is what? Is not wise. I want you to keep this in mind. If you are deceived by it, the wine, you are not wise. Right? I want you to keep this in mind. So we're going to see that it gives a corrupt wisdom. Get me Proverbs chapter 23, verse 31. So we see wine here is linked to deception and not being wise. Read.
Proverbs 23 and 31. Look not you upon the wine.
Do what?
Look not you upon the wine.
So he's actually speaking of wine like it's a person here. He say, look not on the wine. Read.
When it is red.
When it is what?
When it is red.
When it is red. I want you to think of the wine tasting things. When the people, what do they do with the glass? Swirl it. Oh, these grapes come from France. They were, oh, if you if you watched it, they could smell and they know where the grape, what region they came from and how old they are. That's what the lady said. Oh, this is a Cabernet. These grapes are from France, from the hillside. Over. They know. But he dropping something right here. Read that one more time.
Look not you upon the wine when it is red, when it give his color in the cup, when it move itself aright.
When it does what?
Move itself aright.
It says when it moves itself aright. He's talking about the wine like it's a being or a person. Pay attention. Read.
At least it biteth like a serpent.
At last it do what?
At last it biteth like a serpent.
Wait a minute. You telling me wine is some kind of way linked to a serpent? Is that what that just said? Or are you making that up?
At the last it bite like a serpent.
At the last it bites like a serpent. So he linking wine to a serpent. We see wine is also linked to being deceived and not making a person wise. Rock with me. Read that last verse again. Yeah.
31. Look not you upon the wine when it is red, when it give his color in the cup, when it move itself aright. At the last it bite like a serpent.
It does what?
Bite like a serpent and sting like an adder.
And sting like an adder. What's an adder? That's a snake too. So we see wine being linked to deception is now linked to a serpent that bites. Let's see something else. A corrupt wisdom. Get me Ezekiel 28, verse 17. Ezekiel 28, verse 17.
Ezekiel 28, 17. Your heart was lifted up because of your beauty. You have corrupted your wisdom.
He did what?
Corrupted your wisdom.
So you can have wisdom and you can corrupt it. Now, Solomon prayed directly for what? Wisdom, right? If you got the chance for Yah to give you anything and he came to you, what would what should you actually ask him for? It's something, if you got this, see, and what state of eternal life would you ask for? Yeah. In that case, we'd really go and kill me. Yo, you'd be a paraplegic, can't move. The best thing to ask for would be humility, and all the rest of the stuff would be added. If you stayed humble, all the rest of the stuff would be added. Because wisdom, we see, can get corrupted, right? Paul says knowledge does what? Puffs up. That's talking about pride. So we see that this person here in Ezekiel 28 is corrupted by his wisdom. We know that Solomon also was corrupted by his wisdom. But let's see how it took place. Give me Ecclesiastes chapter 2. Pick it up at verse 1.
Ecclesiastes chapter 2 and verse 1. I said in my heart, go to now, I will prove thee with mirth. Therefore enjoy pleasure. And behold, this also is vanity. And I said of laughter, it is mad, and of mirth, what does it? I sought in my heart to give myself unto wine.
Wait a minute. What did Solomon say he did?
I sought in my heart to give myself unto wine.
So if you give yourself the wine, what would you be doing? You'll be getting drunk. If you're under the influence of something, what happens to your decision making? What happened to your senses? All of it goes off kilter. So Solomon right here is letting you know how he corrupted his wisdom. He said, I gave myself to wine. Now, what was the decisions that he would start making? He married not just multiple women, the foreign ones that was forbidden not to. He did all types of folly against Yah's word. He thought he was smarter than Yah. He corrupted his wisdom, and the way he done it is because he gave himself to wine. Now, this eating from this fruit or from this tree causes nakedness and shame. Get me Genesis chapter 9, verse 20.
Genesis 9 and 20. And Noah began to be a husbandman.
A what?
An husbandman.
What's a husbandman? It's a farmer. But he specifically got one thing that he does. Read.
And he planted a vineyard.
He planted a what?
Planted a vineyard.
He planted a vineyard or a vine yard. All right. Let's see what Noah do with his vineyard. Read.
And he drank of the wine and was drunken, and it was uncovered within his tent.
He was what?
Uncovered within his tent.
So what does the tree in the garden do?
Make you naked.
Makes you naked, right? And what is Noah just drank from? The wine. And he's all of a sudden naked, and he does something shameful that brings shame to him. All because he's under the influence. Be you sober, for your adversary is a roaring lion seeking whom he may devour. Genesis 19, verse 32.
Genesis 19:32. Come, let us make our father drink wine.
Let him make him do what?
Let us make our father drink wine,
Read.
and we will lie with him.
And we're going to do what?
We will lie with him.
Impossible. They say they're going to lie with their own daddy. Impossible, right? Read.
That we may preserve seed of our father. And they made their father drink wine that night.
They made him do what?
Drink wine that night.
Now, what is Lot's fault in this? That he drank it. So now he can't control his surroundings. He can't control his surroundings because he's not in control anymore. He completely knocked out the same way that Noah was knocked out. Read.
And they made their father drink wine that night, and the firstborn went in and lied with her father. And he perceived not when she lay down, nor when she arose. And it came to pass on the morrow that the firstborn said unto the younger, Behold, I lay yesternight with my father.
I lay when?
Lay yesternight with my father.
So certainly he's learned now, not 2 days and having a hangover 2 times in a row. Because these had to be the strongest grapes in the world. But I want you to see the effects that it's having on them. Noah goes in and passes out. And his son, we know, comes in and lays with his wife. And he sleep through it. Here, Lot's 2 daughters rape him. And he don't know nothing about it. The text directly says that he didn't know it. He don't know when they came in and when they went out. This how out of it they are. Read.
Behold, I lay yesternight with my father. Let us make him drink wine this night also, and go thou in and lie with him, that we may preserve seed of our father. And they made their father drink wine that night also. And the younger arose and lay with him, and he perceived not that she lay down, nor when she arose. Thus were both the daughters of Lot with child by their father.
By who?
By their father.
By their father. This is disgusting. But nakedness comes out of it again. Nakedness and shame. I bet Lot daughters didn't tell people this. They wouldn't, because you would be ashamed of this. This is shameful and disgusting. Now, who all was in the garden, to your knowledge? Who? And who else? It's Yah's garden, right? So, 4 people there. Satan is a cherub. What were the cherubs' original job? They were around the throne. They were next to it, covering it. So it wouldn't be no strange thing for him to be there, because they were there. I want you to keep that in mind in lieu of this. Give me Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 15.
Habakkuk 2:15. Woe unto him that give his neighbor drink.
Woe unto him to do what?
That give his neighbor drink.
Woe unto him that give his neighbor drink. So they can do what?
That put your bottle to him.
To put the what?
To put your bottle to him.
What you think is in this bottle? The same thing. Read.
And make him drink also, that you may look on their nakedness.
That you may do what?
That you may look on their nakedness.
So it's keep being tied to this nakedness and the look. So he was in the garden looking at his neighbors. He caused them to, and he looked on their nakedness. And it's a shame. But the tree also causes wrath, because in Revelation it says, the wine of the wrath of her fornication. Let's see something. Get me Genesis chapter 4, verse 2.
Genesis 4:2. And she again bare his brother Abel, and Abel was a keeper of sheep, but Cain was a tiller of the ground.
He was what?
A tiller of the ground.
So one is a shepherd and one a farmer or a husbandman. Read.
And in process of time, it came to pass that Cain brought of the fruit of the ground. And
so it says, I want you to look at that. It says in process of time. What does that mean? In process of time.
It took some time for this to happen.
It took some time. So it wasn't straight out, but it took some time. Keep this in mind. Read.
And in process of time, it came to pass that Cain brought the fruit of the ground and offering unto Yahuwah.
He brought of what?
The fruit of the ground and offering unto Yahuwah.
So I want you to see, does it say that Cain brought fruit of the ground, or does it says he brought of the fruit of the ground? And is there a difference? What's the difference? Read that one more time.
And in process of time, it came to pass that Cain brought of the fruit of the ground.
So right here it says, and Cain brought of the fruit of the ground. Watch this. It would be different if he says, and Cain brought fruit of the ground. But it says he brought of the fruit of the ground. So he really don't bring the fruit. He brings something from the fruit. Think about it. He brings something that's made from the fruit. He don't bring the fruit itself. He brings something that's from the fruit. Remember, it says in a process of time. What you think? It's fermented. I want you to rock with me. We gonna see though. Because if somebody got something to say, oh, you just show it to me. I rock with it. You show me the truth. Read that again.
And in process of time, it came to pass that Cain brought of the fruit of the ground an offering of Yahuwah. And Abel, he also brought of the firstlings of his flock and of the fat thereof. And Yahuwah had respect unto Abel and unto his offering.
So Abel's offering would be something with blood in it, right? Because it's an animal, right? A lot of people, not me, but a lot of people say, well, the reason that he don't accept Cain's offering, because he requires blood, right? And one of them brings bring of the fruit of the ground to him. And the other one brings an animal sacrifice to him. Read on.
But unto Cain and to his offering he had no respect, and Cain was very wroth, and his countenance fell.
He was what?
Was very wroth, and his countenance fell.
So he felt that Yah should take my offering. I brought blood to you as well. I brought you blood just like he did. Genesis 49, verse 11.
Genesis 49:11. Binding his foal unto the vine,
To the what?
his foal unto the vine,
Unto the vine. Read.
and his donkey's colt unto the choice vine. He washed his garments in wine, and his clothes in the blood of grapes.
In the what?
The blood of grapes.
Wow, so they call grapes, juice, blood. So in his mind, I brought you blood as well. But it's the blood of grapes that he got. Time to ferment, and you bring Yah this. When Mashiach was on the stake, what did they, when he said, I thirst, what did they offer him? Vinegar. At the supper, when he held the cup and he says, this is the something of my body and the blood of the new covenant. Drink. And he says, I will not do something until my Father's kingdom. He said he wouldn't do what?
Drink wine.
He wouldn't drink again until this day. So when them people turn and put the vinegar up there, where do you think that vinegar was made from? If you guess grapes, you would be correct. So they would be trying to make him break what he just vowed that he wouldn't do. And then it's the grapes again. So I want you to think all of these different combinations of all of this stuff is keep pointing us to grapes over and over and over and over again. But it says that it was the fruit of the ground, right? How do grapes grow? One more time. Vineyard. But in order to keep them up, you got to put up some sort of a fence or something, right? Because if you don't put the fence up, where would the grapes be at? On the ground. So next time you look at a vineyard, I want you to look at it and the grapes grow and they wrap all around the fence or whatever it is that they got to hold it up. Other than that, they would be on the ground. So let's look at this strange little story and why they got it there. Let's get Numbers chapter 13, verse 32.
Numbers chapter 13, verse 32. And they brought up an evil report of the land which has which they had searched unto the children of Israel, saying, the land which we throughout which we have gone to search it is a land that eat up the inhabitants thereof, and the people that we saw are in the magnitude of a great stature. And we saw the giants, the sons of Anak, which of the giants, and we were in our own sight as grasshoppers.
Hold on one second. My bad. Numbers 13:23.
13:23.
Uh-huh.
And they came unto the brook of Eshcol, and cut down from thence a branch with the one cluster of grapes.
With what?
One cluster of grapes.
Read.
And they bare it between two upon a staff.
So, what is this showing you about these grapes? It's one cluster, and they have a staff between two men's shoulders to carry this one cluster of grapes. What is this showing you about these grapes? How heavy they are. Grapes grow on what? A vine. So where would these grapes really be at? They would be on the ground, because they would be too heavy for it, and they would be on the ground. But I can hear somebody saying, but grapes don't grow on the tree, right? Ezekiel chapter 15, verse 2.
Ezekiel 15:2. Son of man, what is the vine tree more than any tree?
What kind of tree is it?
The vine tree.
It's a vine tree. So grapes do grow on trees according to the book. Now he asking a question. What's so great about the vine tree? Read.
More than any tree, or than a branch which is among the trees of the forest. Shall wood be taken thereof to do any work? Or will men take a pin of it to hang a vessel thereon?
Now watch what he says that this vine tree judgment will be. Read.
Behold, it is cast into the fire for fuel. The fire devour both the ends of it, and the midst of it is burned. It is meat for any work. Is it meat for any work? Behold, when it was whole, it was meat for no work. How much less shall it be meat yet for any work, when the fire have devoured it and is burned? Therefore, thus saith Yahuwah Elohim, as the vine tree among the trees of the forest,
As the what?
vine tree among the trees of the forest,
Read.
which I have given to the fire for fuel.
Which I have given what?
To the fire for fuel.
So what's the vine tree's judgment?
Fire.
The fire, right? But why this tree? It's trying to tell us something. Now, when Adam and Eve were created, do you think that they were holy? Right? According to Isaiah 59, I believe it is, it says, your sins have separated you from me. So right now, if you wanted to be as holy as possible or separated as possible, what would you do? Stop. No, separated to Yah. What would you need to do? It's an act that only certain people would do. Obedience, yeah, but it's going the extra mile to separate yourself to him and away from other people. Something about your hair, Nazarite vow. Let's see something. Get me Numbers. Get me Numbers chapter 6, verse 1.
Numbers 6 and 1.
Because the tree in the garden was forbidden to eat from it. Read.
And Yahuwah spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, when either man or woman shall separate themselves to vow a vow
Shall
of
do what?
separate themselves to vow a vow of a Nazarite.
Remember I told y'all about being set apart from the set apart, right? So when any man or woman makes a vow to separate themselves, read,
To separate them to separate themselves to vow a vow of a Nazarite, to separate themselves unto Yahuwah. He shall separate himself from wine
from
and
what?
from wine and strong drink, and shall drink no vinegar of wine or vinegar of strong drink.
What did they offer Mashiach when he was on that stake?
Vinegar.
Vinegar comes from wine. You're not supposed to touch any of it. Read.
Neither shall he drink any liquor of grapes, nor eat moist grapes or dried.
So anything that comes from grapes, no matter what part of it is, wet, dry, any part of it, when you were separated to Yah, you wasn't supposed to touch it. But why not separate from figs, watermelons? Why just the grapes? What is with the grapes? Why is grapes linked to all of this evil stuff that we showing? Why is that? So when you separate, you couldn't do anything that came from this vine tree. Read.
All the days of his separation shall he eat nothing that is made of the vine tree.
That eats what?
That is made of the vine tree.
That is made of the vine tree. So when it says liquor here, it's not talking about liquor the way we're thinking about it. It's actually talking about grape juice in this instance. And I want you to hold on to what I'm saying for that. I'm telling you this for a reason, that this is not talking about liquor, but it's talking about grape juice. So the Nazarite vow, you couldn't do anything. This is the only fruit in the whole book that is forbidden to do anything with. No other. It's the only one. Again, keep this in mind, right? But we say Adam and Eve didn't drink nothing. They just ate something. Isaiah 65, verse 8.
Isaiah 65 and 8. Thus saith Yahuwah, as the new wine is found in the cluster.
As the what?
New wine is found in the cluster.
So it's calling it wine while it's what?
In the cluster.
In the cluster. And this is yayin. So it's calling it wine even when it's still in the cluster by itself. Even before you press it out and squeeze it out, it's calling it wine. Now we know that the tree or the fruit thereof causes death, right? Let's see what fruit is linked to death. Jeremiah 31:29.
Jeremiah 31 and 29. In those days, they shall say no more, the Father have eaten our sour grape.
Have eaten what?
Our sour grape.
Have eaten sour grapes. Read.
And the children's teeth are set on edge.
That means rotten. Read.
But every one shall die for his own iniquity.
So do what?
Shall die for his own iniquity.
Now notice, grapes is linked to death here. Again, grapes linked to death here. It says that every man shall die for his own iniquity. Read.
But every one shall die for his own iniquity. Every man that eat the sour grape.
Every man that do what?
Eat the sour grape.
That eats the sour grapes. So again, it's linked to all these different things. It's no coincidence. But now we got to see that it's two kinds of grapes. John chapter 15, verse 1.
John 15:1. I am the true vine, and my Father is the husbandman.
I am the what vine?
The true vine.
Notice he don't just say I am the vine. He says I am the what?
The true vine.
So if there's a true vine, that must be a
Fake.
false vine or a lie vine. You probably are. Yeah. Read that one more time.
I am the true vine, and my Father is the husbandman.
And my Father is the husband. But he said, I am the true vine. That's letting you know that there is another vine, a wicked one. Let's dig it out. Deuteronomy 32, verse 31.
Deuteronomy 32 and verse 31. For their rock is not our rock, is not as our rock, even our enemies themselves being judges. For their vine is as the vine of Sodom.
Their vine is what?
As the vine of Sodom.
So now he's saying that they rock ain't like our rock, and they vine is as the vine of Sodom. Read.
And of the fields of Gomorrah. And their grapes are grapes of gall.
They grapes of what?
Grapes of gall.
Grapes of gall. This means poisonous. Read.
Their clusters are bitter. Their wine is poison of dragons, and the cruel venom of asps.
And the cruel what?
Cruel venom of asps.
What is an asp? That's a snake. So it's again, it's a different type of a grape. These grapes are poisonous. And he compared to Sodom and Gomorrah, which we know these is fruity grapes. To the 10th power, they're causing something. But if you partake in this tree, you won't know the difference between what's good and what's evil. That's why they're partaking in the activities that they doing. What verse was you at, Art?
That's 33.
Read 34.
34. Is not this laid up in the store with me and sealed up among my treasures?
So he's talking about this poisonous wine. He says it's laid up with me. Wonder what he got it laid up for. So let's see more difference. Isaiah chapter 5, verse 1.
Isaiah 5 and 1. Now I will sing to my well-beloved a song of my beloved, touching his vineyard. My well-beloved have a vineyard in a very fruitful hill.
He says, my well-beloved have a vineyard. Who do y'all think that this vineyard is? As we read on, it's going to become obvious. Read.
And he fenced it in and gathered out the stones thereof and planted it in the choicest vine.
So this gardener here is Yah himself. He has made him a vineyard. He has taken the stones and all of the stuff bad in it. He has taken it out. This is his vineyard. Read.
And also made a winepress therein. And he looked that it should bring forth grapes, and it brought forth wild grapes.
Brought forth what kind of grapes?
Wild grapes.
So he's planted his vineyard. He took care of it and did everything he was supposed to do to it. And it was supposed to bring forth grapes, but it brings forth wild grapes. Read on.
And now, O inhabitants of Jerusalem and men of Judah, judge, I pray you, betwixt me and my vineyard. What could have been done more to my vineyard?
So Yah saying, what could I do more to this vineyard that would make it produce what I wanted it to produce? I've done everything to it, and it still brought forth wild grapes. Read.
What could have been done more to my vineyard that I have not done in it? That have not done in it. Wherefore, when I looked that it should bring forth grapes, brought forth it wild grapes. And now go to. I will tell you what I will do to my vineyard. I will take away the hedge thereof, and it shall be eaten up, and break down the wall thereof.
So he says, I'm going to take away the hedge thereof. Who had a hedge around them when Satan was trying to get him? Job. So here he says, I'm going to take away the hedge and I'm going to let it get overtook. Who is the vineyard, y'all, right here? It's talking about us as the people. Read.
And now go to, I will tell you what I will do to my vineyard. I will take away the hedge thereof, and it shall be eaten up, and break down the wall thereof, and it shall be trodden down. And I will lay it waste. It shall not be poured, it shall not be pruned, nor digged, but there shall come up briars and thorns. And I will also command the clouds that they rain no more upon it. For the vineyard of the Yahuwah of hosts is the house of Israel.
It is what?
Is the house of Israel.
So this vineyard that he's talking about is us, but we wouldn't do right. So we became wild grapes. Read on.
And the men of Judah, his pleasant plant, and he looked for judgment, and behold, oppression, for righteousness, and behold, a cry. Woe unto them that join house to house, that lay field to field, till there be no place, that they may be placed alone in the midst of the earth. And my ears said, Yahuwah of hosts, of a truth, many houses shall be desolate, even great and fair without inhabitant.
Without what?
Without inhabitant.
Without inhabitant. What verse you at?
5
Read on.
Yea, 10 acres of the vineyard shall yield one bath, and the seed of an omer shall yield an ephah. Woe unto them that rise up early in the morning, that they may follow strong drink.
That they may do what?
Follow strong drink.
He says, woe to them that wake up early in the morning, that they may follow strong drink. Read.
That continue unto night, till wine inflame them.
So it does what?
Wine inflame them.
Till wine inflames them. Get drunk from morning to night. It's an everyday thing. Read.
And the harp, and the viol, the tabret, and pipe, and wine.
And what?
And wine.
It's a music, it's a party. Read.
Are in their feast.
Are in what?
In their feast.
Are in their feast. So it's again, it's the same thing. So we see that we were considered the grapes. That's why he says, I am the true vine. You are the branches. Without me, you can do nothing. But we went astray and we wanted to eat from the other tree. As always. Now, how do you get wine from the grapes? What's the standard method of getting wine from grapes? You got to do what to them? You got to stomp them. Why do you think that is? What is he trying to show you with that? Grapes are stomped to get the wine. Why is that? Why not just put them in something and squeeze them? But it's directly to be stomped on. Tread underfoot. Wow, let's see something. Genesis chapter 3, verse 14.
Genesis 3:14. And Yahuwah Elohim said unto the serpent, because you have done this, you are cursed above all cattle, and above every beast of the field. Upon your belly shall you go, and dust shall you eat all the days of your life.
Upon his belly shall he go. The beast of the ground, fruit of the ground, both on the ground, brought to a lower state. Read.
And I will put enmity between your seed and the woman, and between your seed and her seed, it shall. And I will put enmity between thee and the woman, and between your seed and her seed, and it shall bruise your head.
It shall do what?
Shall bruise your head,
It shall bruise your head. How? Read.
and you shall bruise his heel.
So it's showing something about heel to head. What does that mean for Satan's head?
Smashed up.
It's going to get what?
Smashed.
Stomped. So he will be trodden underfoot. Let's see what grapes. Isaiah 63, verse 1. Let's see what he compares Satan's people to.
Isaiah 63 and 1. Who is this that come from Edom with dyed garments from Basra? This that is glorious in his apparel, traveling in the greatness of his strength. I that speak in righteousness, mighty to save. Wherefore art thou red in thy apparel?
Wherefore that what?
Are you red in your apparel?
He says, why are you red in your apparel? You had on white, and all of a sudden your apparel is white. I mean, is red. Read.
And your garments like him that tread in wine fat.
That does what?
Tread in wine fat.
Read.
I have trodden down the winepress alone, and of the people there was none with me. For I will tread them in mine anger.
I will do what?
I will tread them in mine anger.
So he's going through from Esau's people, and he's stomping them like they are grapes. And he is staining his raiment. It goes from white to red. Read.
And trample them in my fury, and their blood shall be sprinkled upon my garments.
And they what?
Shall be sprinkled upon my garments.
And their blood shall be sprinkled upon my garments. So we see that it's a good grape and it's a bad one. Revelation chapter 17 and verse 4. Let's see what this woman got. Revelation chapter 17 and verse 4.
Revelation 17 and 4. And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand.
Having what in her hand?
A golden cup in her hand.
Having a golden cup in her hand. When you think of a king, what do you think in his hand? The golden cup, right? Read.
A golden cup in her hand, full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication. And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. And I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints.
She was what?
Drunken with the blood of the saints.
She's drunk with the blood of the saints, because we are the good grapes. And she drinks the blood when you die. Okay, read.
And with the blood of the martyrs of Yeshua.
And with the what?
The blood of the martyrs of Yeshua.
And with the blood of the martyrs of Yahushua. So we see that she got a cup in her hand. Law of first witness. Where do we see a cup and grapes at the first time in the text? They actually in the same exact passage. Genesis chapter 40, verse 9. We almost done. Genesis chapter 40 at verse 9.
Genesis 40 and 9. And the chief butler told his dream to Joseph and said to him, in my dream, behold, a vine was before me.
What was it before him?
A vine was before me.
So he sees the vine that's before him. Read.
And in the vine were 3 branches, and it was though it budded, and her blossoms shot forth, and the clusters thereof brought forth ripe grapes.
It did what?
The clusters therefore brought forth ripe grapes.
Now we have the grapes. This is the actual first mention of grapes by name. We see the vineyard before, and we know that they were drinking wine from grapes, but here, this is the first time that we actually have the word grapes in the scriptures. Read on.
And Pharaoh's cup was in my hand,
It was what?
was in my hand.
And Pharaoh's cup. So here is the first time cup is here, and the first time grapes is here. What kind of cup y'all think Pharaoh got in his hand?
Gold cup.
Gold cup. Read.
And Pharaoh's cup was in my hand, and I took the grapes and pressed them into Pharaoh's cup.
So he just takes the grapes and presses them into his cup. So right here, he's talking about this vision or this dream that he's had. It's not actually happening now, but it's going to happen in 3 days. Read.
And I gave the cup into Pharaoh's hand. And Joseph said unto him, This is the interpretation of it. The 3 branches are 3 days. Yet within 3 days shall Pharaoh lift up thine head and restore thee unto your place. And you shall deliver Pharaoh's cup into his hand, after the former manner, when you was his butler.
When you what?
When you was his butler.
When you were his butler. Jump down to verse 16.
Verse 16. When the chief baker saw that the interpretation was good, he said unto Joseph, I also was in my dream, and behold, I had 3 white baskets on my head, and in the uppermost basket there was all manner of baked meats for Pharaoh, and the birds did eat them out of the basket upon my head. And Joseph answered and said, This is the interpretation thereof. The 3 baskets are 3 days. Yet within 3 days shall Pharaoh lift up your head from off you, and shall hang you on a tree, and the birds shall eat your flesh from off you. And it came to pass the 3rd day, which was Pharaoh's birthday.
Which was his what?
Pharaoh's birthday.
So it's Pharaoh's birthday, the king's birthday. Read.
That he made a feast unto all his servants.
He made what?
A feast unto all his servants.
So Pharaoh is feeling himself. It's his birthday, and he's throwing a giant feast for all of his people. What y'all think they drinking? Read on.
And he lifted up the head of the chief butler and of the chief baker among his servants. And he restored the chief butler unto the butlership again.
He restored who?
He restored the chief butler into his butlership again.
What verse you at right now?
21.
21, okay. So he restores the chief butler. We look at this word, it's H8248. It says to give, to drink, irrigate, drink. And at the bottom it says a primitive root to quaff, that is to irrigate or furnish a potion, to cause, to give, to let, make, to drink, drown, moisten, water. But it says to see, H7937. And that word is to be or become drunk. And when we look at this word that says, this definition that we looked at, it goes back to when Noah drank from the wine that he had and he became drunk. So we see the grapes and the golden cup go back to a king that restored one man and hung the other one on something and killed him. So judgment in this, mercy, it's mixed. He lets one go free and the other one he kills. He has mercy on one and judgment. This is a mixing of 2 things right here. Now, you're almost there. Matthew 26:39. So whoever eats from this tree, the fruit from this tree, is supposed to die. or be put to death. And they got to drink this cup. Matthew 26:39.
Matthew 26 and verse 39. And he went a little further and fell on his face and prayed, saying, O my Father, if it be possible, let this cup pass from me.
Let it what?
Let this cup pass from me.
Let this cup pass from me. I don't want to drink this cup. Read.
Nevertheless, not as I will, but as you will. And he come unto the disciples, and find them asleep, and saith unto Peter, What? Could you not watch with me 1 hour? Watch and pray, that you enter not into temptation. The ruach indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak. He went away again the second time, and prayed, saying, O my Father, if this cup may not pass away from me, except I drink it, thy will be done.
He said, if this, basically, please take this cup away from me. I don't want to drink this cup. Why does Mashiach have to drink this cup? And what comes from this cup? Why does he have to drink it? For the wages of sin is death, right? Adam ate or drank something that brought in death to everybody. So what do you think Mashiach is actually partaking in right now? The original tree. When you drink it, you die. He came to take it away from the world. He took it on himself. But let's see. The original tree was a mixed tree, right? Let's see what's actually in this cup. Give me Revelation chapter 14 and verse 10.
Revelations 14 and 10. The same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of Elohim.
Shall drink what?
The wine of the wrath of Elohim.
Which is what?
Which is poured out with mixture.
Without
mixture.
It is poured out without mixture. The tree in the beginning was a mixture. It had good and evil. It had judgment and it had mercy. What is it taking out over here? All of the good stuff that was in the other one, it's out. Only thing is in it now is the judgment and the evil, and Mashiach has to drink this because Adam messed up and did this. Mashiach comes at the end and partakes in this, and he does what every one of us is supposed to do. He's taken it upon himself to do what every one of us is supposed to do. As you can see, he didn't really want to drink that drink because we know what they did to him. So everybody that overcomes the tree and learns to tell the difference between the two, the tree of life is waiting for you. But if you don't, you're going to continue to eat from the tree of good and evil and drink from his poisonous wine. And with that, this court is adjourned.
Hallelujah.
Any questions? Harry? We're being what now? Uh-huh. Absolutely. Yah is direct. That's why he directly says, I'm the true vine, to let you know. So let's look at the patterns. He says, I set before you life and death, good and evil. Choose. What do we always choose? Death. He right there for you to make the right choice. Him or Barabbas. Choose. We always choose the wrong thing. Anything on the chat, B? that boy, that boy making, that boy making that up. Screenshot it and send it to me. Screenshot it and send it to me. Go ahead, Doc. He didn't. He didn't bring what was required. He brought. He brought like liquor to him. Something. I don't want that. Yeah, that's what he's bringing. It fermented, and you giving me that. I don't want that. I want what I required from you. And all you got to do is go. Now, it told us that the tree brings wrath. What happened when he was rejected? Where does wrath? Where do we see the wrath at? He killed his brother. Now, the most times when we kill our brothers, what's involved? Pride, but it's something else that go with it. It's a substance. Yeah. When you get ready to, we finna ride on them fools. What do you do? You stop at that store, right? You get that stuff. It's called a liquid courage because without it, you wouldn't have done it. And you causes wrath. So it's a lot of people in a lot of trouble. It's a lot of babies been born because we were under this substance. And it's a lot of marriages that's been put together because this substance was in the place. So y'all didn't put a lot of people together. The stuff did. All right. Well, Nate, you got some?
Hanukkah. Well, new moon is coming up. It would be Tuesday. Tuesday. So we'll be here at 7 o'clock. We got the Hanukkah celebration coming up in December. We have a schedule of activity.
All right, all praises to the Most High once again for another magnificent lesson. I hope you have enjoyed my Adawan, my dear brother, uh, Adawan YaaQob or King YaaQob, and this brother here. You know, I'm not a man pleaser, but I got a lot of respect for this brother. I got a lot of respect for this brother. You know, this brother, man, has taken me far in this truth, helped me understand things that I did not understand, and forever grateful to the Most High for the guidance that He's used uh, to deliver to me through this brother here. So praises to the Abba, Hallelujah. I pray that you all were edified, and we'll do. I'm gonna continue dropping these because one, they're so good. I mean, the lessons are just immaculate. Uh, and it gives you a lot to think about, a lot to chew on, a lot to wonder about. Like, man, you know what I'm saying? You go back and you follow along, take down the precepts and follow it yourself, and like, man, do I get the same thing? So always good stuff. I'm gonna go ahead and close out. I may find something else to put on here, so don't go too far. I may have something else for you to enjoy just shortly. But we're gonna go ahead and close out for this lesson. And we'll close out as we always do about this time with the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter number 12 and verse number 13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear the Most High and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. It is so very important that we understand that in the conclusion of the whole matter, we are to fear the Most High and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. At the end of the day, when it is all said and done, all the dust is settled and all the smoke is cleared, we will be judged on whether we have feared the Most High and kept his commandments. Why? Because this is the whole duty of man. I am Yaakazaki Yahu, giving all praises, honor, and great esteem unto the Most High Power, Yahuwah, Bahashem, Yahushua HaMashiach, and to the 12 tribes of Israel who are scattered to the four quarters of the earth. I say Shalom, Wa, Baruchim, that is peace and blessings. And I cannot wait to the day that the Most High brings us back together and we are one. And we are 12 tribes, one family, one nation, under the Most High Power, under one covenant, back in our own land with a heart of flesh and no more a heart of stone, with our enemies, our adversaries, and all those who hate us under our feet. Until that day come, shalom, family. Shalom, Yah Eli, Eli, Yah Eli. If I said that right, Salaki if I didn't. But shalom, shalom. All right, we'll catch you on the next one. Peace and blessings, family.